Pretty much anyone with a TV has had the news on at some point and heard people talk about the president. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, everyone has an opinion. And lots of these come from the fact that the president is the biggest role in the government. So it's really important to have a big national election to choose fairly who this government leader is going to be. Today, we're going to be talking about the national elections and how leaders are elected. On the national level, there are two main people who are elected. They run as a pair and campaign or advertise themselves together. This pair is the president and the vice president. Before the president is elected, they go through an election process. And there are requirements to even be able to start this. First, people have to be 35 years old and be born in the United States to be eligible to run for the presidency. As well as this, they have to have lived in the United States for at least 14 years. So if somebody was born in America and then moved to England, they couldn't live in England and then come back and then run for president immediately. They have to be a resident of the United States. When someone decides they want to run in a national election, they have to do something called campaigning. When you campaign, you name yourself as a candidate and start to advertise yourself so people know that you're going to be an option to be voted for your position. Once you've named yourself as a candidate, something called caucuses begin. These are mock elections within a political party at different locations across the country, so people in the party can declare how popular or unpopular different candidates are. Because multiple people will run for national offices across the country, there are going to be multiple people up for votes in these caucuses, and these caucuses will show how much people do or don't want a certain candidate to have this role. Following a caucus, candidates know how popular or unpopular they are in different locations. Because of this, they will then know how hard they need to campaign with different demographics of people, as well as in different locations, so that they can become a better candidate. They want to be a better candidate so they can get chosen in something called a primary election. The primary election is the first wave of voting that happens in a national election. This is where all candidates within a political party will then be put together on a ballot, and people can vote for them and choose which candidate they want to represent their political party. After primaries, political parties know how much people across the country want each candidate to run for office and represent their party. Because of this, after the primaries, they will then hold something called a national convention, which is a big meeting of everyone in a political party who will then announce and select the nominee for the candidacy. Here, they will pick which candidate will be the one to represent the political party in the role going for president. Because of this, there can only be one nominee per party. Additionally, at the National Convention, the nominee for the candidacy will also announce who they want their vice president candidate to be. The candidate for president and the candidate for vice president work together to campaign for themselves in order to be elected in the general election in November. These nominees for candidacy will then travel together to multiple locations in the country to hold political rallies where they will garner support from voters across the country to then hope that they will be voted for on election day in the start of November. Not everyone votes on election day. Some people will mail in votes or do early voting, but all votes will have to be counted by election day to pick who will be the president in the national election. However, it is not a popular vote. The Electoral College creates a popular vote within states to find out who is the most liked candidate and most voted for candidate, and that person will receive the votes of the state. The Electoral College represents an amount of people in the state, so it is the same amount of senators and representatives added together. So Indiana has 9 representatives and 2 senators, so it has 11 Electoral College representatives. So Indiana will then have 11 votes total in the national election, whereas bigger states with more representatives will have more representation because they have more people in the state. So the Electoral College will have a popular vote within the state to find out who gets the Electoral College's votes, and they all add up together for every state that wants a certain candidate, and they get those votes from the Electoral College. Overall, there are 538 members of the Electoral College, and a candidate would need 270 of these votes to win the election. If neither candidate gets 270 Electoral College votes, the election would then move on to the House of Representatives for representatives to vote on who they want the president to be. Whoever wins this election then moves on to be inaugurated and officially starts their job in January of the following year. Only once has the election moved on to the House of Representatives, but it is still a possibility. However, it is still up to the American people on who wins the election. Every single person's vote influences the vote of the Electoral College, and possibly the House of Representatives. Even if you may not be voting directly for the president, it is still important to vote, because your voice is heard and your voice is important. Hi, thanks so much for watching this video. I'm Madeline Sturka, the creator of Civics for a Future project, which is my Gold Award project. So thank you so much for supporting my project, and I hope that this video helped a lot. If you want any follow-up activities or resources, you can find the link in my bio. It will have all of the resources that I use for information to get this content. It'll have resources for activities that you can use to follow up, as well as the database for all of the videos that I've created and things like that. So I truly hope that this helped, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.